Today we're going to be painting on this 24 by 24 inch canvas, and we're actually going to be covering up this painting you're currently looking at. There's a lot of things I like about it. There's a lot of crazy stuff happening, and we're going to be taking this painting in a totally different direction. With that being said, what I like about what we're looking at right now is it's just totally different than many things I've done in the past. The layering technique I did on this thing was pretty strange. There's a lot of these lines you can see throughout the painting, and that's actually raised. So I thought that was pretty fun to play around with. I think the splashes of color are cool. I like these blues. Not the biggest fan of that just straight teal thing going on right there. And honestly, it's just not something I'm in love with. Neither is Barb, so I mean, if we're not in love with it, then we might as well not keep it. You know what I'm saying? So today, we're going to be painting as if we're looking up through pine trees. I've done this on a smaller painting before, and I've always wanted to bring it into a bigger version, and I think it's going to be really cool to paint over all this texture with the idea of looking up through trees in mind. I wanted this painting to have a really surrealist type feeling. I wanted it to be abstract and almost distorted, as if you're kind of looking into a pool of water and seeing a reflection of the sky. And so I didn't actually put in any clouds. I just used this curved brush in the beginning. And I think that curved brush just created this airy feeling that I was kind of going for. And so I love the way that that turned out. And I ended up pulling out my palette knife after I got in the sun and the sky. And I started to throw in this dark green. And I start with dark green because I wanted my trees to have layers, and I wanted them to have different greens kind of thrown throughout them. And if you start with darks and end with lights, you can kind of pull those paints in different directions. For the most of this painting, I actually use acrylic paints, but actually at the end here, when my shirt changes, I actually switch to oil paints. Now, if you want to mix oils and acrylics, you got to wait till the acrylics dry and then put on oils after. And you can't do oil and then acrylic, that won't work. With that being said, I think that all these acrylics were really fun. I only added the oils on top because I actually wanted to have a little bit more colors popping and being pulled out of this painting. And I feel like with a oil paint, I can kind of create some more color variation than I can with acrylics. With that being said, I really try not to push too hard with my knife, and I don't let the paints dry in between the colors of greens and browns within those trees, because I just wanted to pull them around and kind of create, I would say, accidents, happy ones at that. I don't want my trees to be cookie cutter trees. I want them to be trees that are different and have funky things going on, and they're imperfect. I don't really see perfect trees as I walk around outside, and I don't want to be painting something that's just kind of, super cookie cutter is what I would call it. With that being said, you can see now that I'm starting to throw these oil paints in a circle. It's almost kind of a Van Gogh feeling, and I really think that it turned this painting into a really cool textured feeling. A really layered depth painting is what I was going for. All in all, I think the colors are absolutely gorgeous as we're looking at these final shots, and I think the yellows have a bunch of variations within them. There's really caked on parts of those yellows that I love. I think those trees are just absolutely gorgeous. They're all acrylic. I only added oil to the blues and the yellows. And I have some of that background showing, and I think that's really fun. It almost looks like there's fish. I kind of wanted that pond feeling, so I feel like I got it. Anyway, I really appreciate you dropping by, and I hope you have an absolutely wonderful day.